It's 6:47 in the morning. Your alarm is ringing again. You already snoozed it 3 times, but eventually, reality wins. You roll out of bed, shuffle into the kitchen, and start the same quiet morning routine millions of people repeat every day. Coffee, phone, bank app, just a quick check. And then your stomach drops. Payday was 2 days ago, yet somehow your account is already almost empty. Rent, groceries, car payments, subscriptions you barely remember signing up for. It feels like your paycheck arrived and instantly disappeared. You stare at the screen for a moment, then you close the app and tell yourself the same thing most people do. I just need to work harder. Maybe I need a better job. If I earned more, this would finally stop. But here's the strange part. Even when people start earning more, the cycle rarely ends. The paycheck grows, but the pressure grows with it. Bills get bigger, expectations rise. Life becomes slightly more comfortable, but never truly secure. And over time, a quiet question starts forming in the back of your mind. What if the problem isn't your paycheck? What if the real trap isn't about how much money you earn, but something far more subtle, something almost invisible, something hiding in plain sight in the way money moves through your life? And once you see it, you realize millions of people have been chasing the wrong solution the entire time. But to understand the trap, we first need to understand why it exists. Because the middle class trap doesn't feel like a trap, and that's exactly why it works. My name is Zach, and I spend a lot of time thinking about money. Not just how people earn it, but why so many hardworking people still feel financially stuck. Why some people slowly build real wealth over time, while others stay trapped in the same cycle of paychecks, bills, and rising expenses for decades. If you're someone who wants to understand the deeper mechanics behind money, not just how to make it, but how the system actually works, consider subscribing. And if this video helps you see the middle class trap and your financial future a little differently, give it a like so more people can find it. Meet Alex. Alex wakes up every morning at 6 a.m., drives through traffic, sits in meetings, answers emails, then finally drives home exhausted. The paycheck arrives every month. Bills get paid, groceries get bought, maybe a few dinners with friends. But by the end of the month, there's almost nothing left. Alex isn't irresponsible. Alex isn't reckless. Alex is doing exactly what most people do, working hard and trying to keep up. But somehow it always feels like running on a treadmill. Constant motion, no real progress. Now meet Jordan. Same job, same hours, same paycheck. From the outside, their lives look almost identical, but Jordan's life feels different. Bills still get paid, groceries still get bought, but somehow money is still left over. Savings slowly grow, investments quietly build, vacations happen. Unexpected expenses don't create panic, and there's something even more noticeable, a quiet sense of control, confidence about the future. At first it seems unfair. Two people, same income, same starting point, yet one struggles, while the other steadily moves forward. So what's the difference? Luck? Inheritance? Secret knowledge? No, the difference is much smaller than that. A single decision repeated every month, a tiny habit that most people never notice. But before we reveal it, there's a statistic that explains how widespread this trap really is. More than 70% of people live paycheck to paycheck, even many people earning six-figure incomes, which means something surprising. If a $500 emergency appears, their entire financial system collapses for the month. Economists sometimes describe this as a liquidity trap. Money flows in, money flows out, but nothing stays long enough to grow. Alex represents that 70%. Paycheck in, paycheck gone. Jordan belongs to a much smaller group, people who learned how to redirect their money before it disappears. And research shows something fascinating. Someone who consistently saves or invests just 10% of their income can build enormous financial stability over time. Not overnight, but gradually, almost invisibly. At first, the difference feels small, but over years, the compounding effect becomes massive. Yet most people misunderstand this completely. They assume wealth comes from big paychecks, when in reality, wealth comes from controlling the direction of money. And when you start paying attention, you begin to see several forces quietly pushing people deeper into the middle-class trap. The middle-class trap rarely appears all at once. Instead, it forms through a series of small forces working together. First, the income illusion. The belief that earning more will automatically solve financial problems. Second, lifestyle creep. As income rises, spending rises with it. A nicer apartment, a newer car, more expensive habits. Third, debt loops. Credit cards and loans quietly draining future income. Fourth, the savings blind spot. Many people believe they're saving, when in reality they're barely saving at all. Fifth, investment ignorance. Money sitting idle instead of quietly growing. And finally, the most important force of all, the hidden rule. The principle that determines whether money builds wealth or disappears forever. But before revealing that rule, there's another trap that keeps people stuck longer than almost anything else. Debt. One morning, your car refuses to start. The repair bill is $1,200. For Alex, panic sets in immediately. There's no emergency fund, so the credit card comes out. Just this once. But next month, something else happens, and the interest starts stacking up. That $1,200 repair slowly turns into $1,500, then $1,800. Soon, Alex is juggling multiple payments, minimum balances, interest charges. Every emergency feels like sinking deeper into quicksand. Now look at Jordan. Same car, same breakdown, same repair cost. But Jordan opens a small emergency fund. The money was already waiting. No debt, no stress. Life simply moves on. And that reveals an important truth. Debt isn't just borrowing money. Debt is borrowing future freedom. And once people enter that cycle, escaping becomes harder every year. But Jordan didn't escape by accident. There was a strategy behind it. And surprisingly, it's incredibly simple. Jordan followed 5 quiet rules. Rule 1. Build a small emergency fund. Even $500 to $1,000 can stop small problems from becoming financial disasters. Rule 2. Destroy high-interest debt first. Credit cards charging 20% interest erase wealth faster than most investments can build it. Rule 3. Automate savings. Every paycheck, 10% automatically moves into savings or investments. No decision required. Rule 4. Avoid new debt whenever possible. Credit should be convenience, not survival. Rule 5. Review finances monthly. Track progress, adjust habits, celebrate small wins. None of these steps are dramatic. None require extreme sacrifice. But their power comes from repetition, because when these habits run for years, the results become extraordinary. Fast forward 5 years, Jordan's life looks completely different. That $100 saved every week, it becomes more than $25,000. And that's before investment growth even begins. Debt disappears. Opportunities appear. Unexpected expenses stop feeling like disasters. Career decisions become easier. Vacations become possible. But the biggest change isn't the money. It's the feeling, peace of mind, confidence, control. Because the middle-class trap doesn't just steal money, it steals time, energy, and freedom. And once those small habits start working in your favor, everything slowly shifts. Think back to that moment in the kitchen, the coffee, the bank app, that quiet feeling that something isn't working. That feeling was never really about numbers. It was about control. Money isn't just a tool for buying things. It's a tool for buying choices. The choice of how you spend your time, the choice of what work you do, the choice of what kind of life you build. Financial freedom doesn't come from earning more. It comes from understanding how money flows and making small decisions that compound quietly over time. Because once you break the invisible loops, life begins to feel different. Stress fades, options expand, and you stop simply surviving and start designing your life. The middle-class trap isn't just a financial problem. It's a lesson in awareness, patience, and intentional living. Because the wealthiest people aren't always the ones with the biggest paychecks. They're the ones who control their own lives. And in the end, wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in freedom. And freedom is what money was supposed to buy all along.